Somber start to Real Estate Genius on this Tuesday. You would think I'd be over the Lions' loss by now, and you'd be wrong, because I'm still affected. I'm still afflicted by the Lions' poor performance. In fact, it's just very, very depressing, and I thought this meme was funny, or as you old people call them, memes. I thought this was pretty good. Kevin Hart's different faces. We've seen these on a lot of memes, but I thought this was especially fun. Lions fans be like, in the first half, we're happy. Third quarter, we're like, uh-oh. Fourth quarter, we're like, and after the game, we're like, okay. And that's the vibe I'm bringing today to Real Estate Genius. Just like, okay. We lost to the Bears at home. Mitchell Trubisky engineered 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter on the Lions' home field to beat the Lions. And our rookie running back dropped a pass with 10 seconds to go in the end zone that would have won the game. So, I've already talked about this stuff ad nauseum. We're on to Green Bay. We're on to Green Bay this week, so don't like our chances there. I'll just tell you that straight out the gate. Anyway, welcome to Real Estate Genius, everybody, the show where we make you a genius about the real estate market. One of the questions that I get a lot is, how does an election year affect the housing market? So obviously, presidential election is coming up in November. I don't know why it took me so long to think of that. In November, we'll have the presidential election, and everybody wants to know, how does the housing market? We've heard there's a slowdown. We've heard there's a dip. What really happens? And so just wanted to go through some of the numbers on historically what we see in the housing market during an election year. So I think this is, I know this is really helpful information for me when I learned this. Thought I'd share it to you so that you could keep this in mind throughout this fall. So one of the things we see, there's always a drop from October to November. Every single year, housing goes down. And in a non-election year, that drop is usually around 10%. So in November, we typically have about 10% fewer homes sold than October. In an election year, that goes up by 5%. So the October to November drop is 15%. So typically we see in an election year about a 5% decrease in overall home sales compared to the previous year. Now, interestingly enough, though, the very next January, there is a 5% increase in the January numbers, which means all of that interest and all of that housing activity was simply deferred until after the election, and tends to result in that 5% increase in the housing market in January. So typically still, buyers are going to buy, sellers are going to sell. We see a little dip in the market right around the election, and then it all comes back in the next couple of months. So I thought those numbers were interesting because every 4-year cycle we get those questions. And so I thought, let's talk about those here today. If you have any questions about that, holler at me. You know how to get me. Let's talk about what's happening here locally in the Indianapolis housing market so we can make you a real estate genius about the local market as well. First of all, overall home sales are up 12.7% here locally compared to a year ago. We were down briefly during the initial COVID quarantine and all of that action, but now home sales have rebounded. In fact, we're on pace to do about what we did last year, which is amazing during the midst of a global pandemic. So housing market has remained one of the strong economic sectors throughout these last 6 months. Median sale price in the Indianapolis market is $225,000. Even that is up about 15% over a year ago. So home prices still very strong, and even stronger than they were last year during the pandemic, which is amazing. Inventory, another big decrease, over 50% decrease in inventory right now. And if you're one of my buyers, you're like, that's right, Terry. That is absolutely accurate, because we're having trouble finding homes, right? So that is to be expected. Obviously, we have an inventory crisis anyway, and year over year, looking at these numbers, we're down 50% of active listings compared to a year ago. Unbelievable. So, and if you saw, I posted yesterday about all of my buyer needs, all the things my buyers are looking for. So if you want to go back and look at that and help a buyer out, that'd be great. So inventory very low. Average days on market 31. That's about 19% faster homes are selling than they were a year ago. So again, lots of demand. very, very tight inventory has led to a decreased days on market of 31. So there you go. That's all the information. That's the deal about the election. And most importantly of all, the Lions got to get back on the right track here. Well, it'd be the first time we were ever on the right track, frankly. But we'll get the Lions back on track, you guys. I feel like we're going to beat Green Bay. That's probably not going to happen. Anyway, if you have questions, hit me up. Shoot me a message about the NFL, about the housing market. And we probably shouldn't talk politics, should we? Anyway, talk to me about anything. I don't care. We could talk. But hope you're doing well. Hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. We'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.